Discover the best in local business news with a subscription to the IBJ and Inside Indiana Business. For a limited time, try us out for just $1 a week for 8 weeks. Claim this limited time offer now at ibj.com/trial offer.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Thursday, April 9th, 2026. I'm Alex Brown. A Wisconsin-based company is establishing a presence in Hendricks County with a new manufacturing facility in the planned Pittsboro Commerce Park. Faith Technologies announced today that it plans to invest $67.5 million to build the 500,000 square foot facility and create up to 200 skilled manufacturing and electrical jobs by the end of 2027. The facility is being designed to support the company's Accelerate brand, which specializes in the manufacturing of modular electrical assemblies and energy solutions for hyperscale data centers and other major facilities. The Indiana Economic Development Corporation is offering the company up to $3 million in incentive-based tax credits for the project. Eli Lilly and Co announced today that its new weight loss pill is now available in retail pharmacies in the United States. On April 1st, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration granted expedited approval for orforglipron, a GLP-1 drug branded as Foundayo that works like widely used injectable medications to mimic a natural hormone that controls appetite and feelings of fullness. VPS Architecture, a design firm based in Evansville and Indianapolis, is under new ownership after being acquired by Minneapolis-based Wold Architects and Engineers. Wold is not disclosing the financial terms of the deal, but says all 20 of VPS Architecture's employees are being retained. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise@ibj.com to learn more.
A southern Indiana sheriff accused of misusing public funds was charged today in Marion County after investigators say he gave false information during a 2024 state police investigation. IIB's Aubriana Herron has more.
According to new court records, Dubois County Sheriff Thomas Kleinhelter faces 1 felony count of official misconduct and 3 misdemeanor counts of false informing. The charges stem from statements Kleinhelter made during a recorded interview with Indiana State Police on December 19, 2024, as part of a broader investigation into his handling of jail commissionary funds. The investigation originated from questions about Kleinhelter's use of public money, but the criminal charges center specifically on what prosecutors allege were false statements made to investigators. Kleinhelter gave multiple statements during the interview that were contradicted by financial records, documents, and other evidence gathered during the probe, according to a probable cause affidavit. Among them, investigators allege Kleinhelter falsely claimed that golf outings paid for with commissionary funds were part of a law enforcement conference. A refund tied to a canceled trip to Dubai was issued as airline credit rather than returned to his personal credit card, and that he had not appointed his wife as a special deputy. The official misconduct charge alleges those statements were made while Kleinhelter was acting in the official capacity as sheriff in discussing matters tied to his duties. Aubriana Herron, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
A former Ball State University employee who was fired for her comments following political activist Charlie Kirk's death has settled a lawsuit against the university's president, but the details have not yet been finalized. Tuesday's settlement signals a near conclusion of Suzanne Swerk's 6-month entanglement with Ball State University President Jeffrey Mearns, who fired Swerk for a Facebook post she made after Kirk's fatal shooting, which he previously claimed caused an unprecedented level of disruption for the university. The parties must still memorialize and signed the agreement and file a stipulation of dismissal, which the court ordered to be due in May. Greenwood-based Indiana American Water is taking the next step in its effort to mitigate the amount of so-called forever chemicals in its drinking water supply. The utility this week announced plans to invest $19 million to build its second PFAS water treatment system, this time at its Terre Haute operations. President Barry Suits.
It's the next step up in size to some extent for us. We have a number of facilities we're going to be building around the state, so it's the next bigger system that needs eventually to have the treatment, the level of PFAS that we see in the raw water.
Construction is slated to begin this summer and be complete in mid-2028. Indiana's storied basketball history is the subject of this week's Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
Get a behind-the-scenes look at Indiana's most influential leaders. On Business and Beyond, we go beyond titles and resumes to explore the personal stories, pivotal moments, and hard-won lessons that shape Hoosier leadership. Hear from the people driving Indiana forward in their own words. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcast or at ibjpodcasts.com.
Want to give your team a real edge? The IBJ Group Plan delivers unlimited access to every story, every report, every video from IBJ and Inside Indiana Business for your whole team. Cover some or all of your employees with one simple payment. The more you add, the more you save. It's smart, it's flexible, and it saves you up to 30% off the standard rate. Already have IBJ subscribers in your office? Group up and save big. Learn more and get started now at ibj.com/group-plan.